The story today has been debated over the years because there are so many people who think that this story isn't real and is nothing more than an urban legend. But was this ghost ship hiding something that needed to be erased from history? Hello and welcome back, or welcome to my channel. If you don't know what's going on here, I am a horror artist and I like to draw what I talk about in the videos. Now, I love anything to do with scary stories, scary facts, conspiracies, aliens, paranormal stuff, ghosts, all that kind of good stuff, and I love drawing. So what better than to combine the both on my channel? So if this is something that you're interested in and you would like to watch, that's what I do here, so stick around and you might enjoy the content. Now, nothing is meant to be insensitive to the victims or the victims' families in these stories that I do, but if you are a sensitive person, you might be best to maybe just trundle off somewhere else. With that being said, let's get on with the video. So this story has never been proven wrong or right, but only relies on the statements of the crew from the Silver Star ship and the surrounding coast guards that could hear and were tuned into hearing the distress call from the Dutch vessel, the Ourang Medan. The Ourang Medan was sailing in the Straits of Malacca in the late 1940s. Now, the exact year is not really known, but they think it was around 1947 to 1948, which is located between Indonesia, Malaysia, and Singapore, where an SOS came through to the American nearby ship called the Silver Star and the nearby coast guards, which said, "We float. All officers, including captain, dead. Lying in chart room and on bridge. Possibly whole crew dead. I die." Then there was some untranslatable Morse code and then complete silence. The Silver Star then changed course and made its way to the Ourang Medan to assist, but when they arrived, the ship was eerily quiet and sent shivers down the spines of the Silver Star crew. No one was on the deck of the boat waving for help or anything, just absolute stillness. Some of the crew from the Silver Star boarded the ship and found the bodies of the crew, and it didn't matter where the bodies were found, whether it was in the bottom of the boat, the engine room, their rooms, or on deck. All crew members were lying on their backs with an absolute horrifying contorted look of fear on their faces, teeth baring and hands up like they were fighting off something before dying. Even the ship's dog was in a snarling pose before it died, but there was no trace of what could have done this to everyone on board. The crew from the Silver Star got back onto their ship and left the Ourang Medan absolutely baffled. Now, they did decide that they were going to tow this ship back to shore. But once they decided to do this, smoke started bellowing from the cargo hold on the Ourang Medan, and then, with just moments to spare, they quickly cut ties with the Ourang Medan, and it just exploded and sunk where it was just floating. Now, any signs of an investigation of the ship and the crew were completely devastated due to the explosion and the sinking, but only a newspaper article was the only thing published about the incident. So the question is this event real or fake? Now, the story has been circulating for so many years that it's hard to think that it is fake, but we do have a few discrepancies to throw into the mix of this story. The first one being that there was apparently no record of a ship in the Lloyd's Ship Register named Ourang Medan, but other people say that the Ourang translates to man of in Sumatran, so it was called Man of Medan, and it may have been registered under another registry in Sumatra. Some stories even suggest that the Ourang Medan was built in 1918 and designed to transport rubber, spices, and timber. The second theory is that it was a ship running illegal cargo that needed to be kept a secret. The covert operation ended up taking the lives of all crew, and whatever was on board was some kind of chemical that ended up escaping, making the crew hallucinate and killing them, and then cause a buildup of pressure like a chemical reaction, and it exploded. The reason why it was never investigated or properly recorded in history, because it may have made a lot of people get in trouble, and it was carrying cargo that they did not want the public to find out about. So it then started a chain reaction of a massive cover-up. They may not have anticipated on this happening, but because the ship entered a hot climate, maybe whatever was on board had a reaction to the heat, and yeah, this is what happened. The third theory is that the ship may have never have been named the Ourang Medan, but just a cover name so it could not be tracked. It may have been carrying chemical weapons to be used in the war at the time, which was around the World War II era. The fourth theory is that pirates may have boarded the ship, killing everyone on board, but this couldn't have happened because, according to the Silver Star crew, there was no physical wounds on the dead crew of the Ourang Medan. And the fifth theory is it was either supernatural or an alien encounter. This was flung around as a curse because the cargo may have been artifacts that were heavily cursed, or they had an alien encounter that made everyone freeze in this horrifying pose as they were looking up in terror. Also, the bodies hadn't been dead long, as the Silver Star acted immediately to the distress call, but they were decomposing at a very fast rate, which can be associated with exposure to a UFO. And if you do follow UFO stories, there has been known facts out there, or, just there is information floating around out there that people that have been exposed to UFOs, they tend to degrade very quickly. They end up with grey hair, or there's some very sort of aging properties that happen with whatever the whatever the UFO is made up of. Now, as far as I am concerned, there should have been an investigation into the story. Fuck the Titanic. I want to know what happened to this ship and if it exists, because I want someone to investigate. Like, I want to know. Someone start a petition. I don't know. But, let's lay this urban legend to bed. I want this to be debunked. I cannot work out why nobody has decided to investigate this. So what do you guys reckon about this story? Now, do you believe that it's real, or do you think it's fake, or do you think this story is just a series of Chinese whispers throughout the ages and it's just turned into something embellished? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, because I don't know. I think that this should have been investigated. Maybe there's a reason why it hadn't been investigated. Maybe it isn't real. I don't know. But it would be good to know something about this and see if this is just, if this is just a story that someone has made up. I'm very curious to know. Because as we know throughout history, and if you've been following my channel, there's a lot of weird shit that happens in this world. I honestly believe that we live in a sci-fi horror / movie. I honestly believe that, because there's a lot of cases out there that are just mind-blowing, and there's a lot of them. Like, surely people can't be making this shit up. So the illustration that I decided to do for this video today, what came to mind for it was a scary looking monster / maybe alien pirate type thing that's boarded the ship, and it stuck a big spike through one of the crew members, and I just had this vision of this thing wrapped in, just wrapped in like a bandage type thing. I don't know why these things pop into my head, but I've got to draw them when I think of, things to draw for these stories, and the images. I don't ignore the images that just flash into my brain when when I'm thinking of this. So I go with it. It's nearly like it's like a vision telling me to do what I need to do. But yeah, this thing is, got control over this poor other thing that is on the ground with this fear pose with the hands up and the mouth and the teeth exposed and looking up, like the story suggests, how the crew were found. And yeah, they basically died of sheer terror because of these things that have invaded their boat. So yeah, that's it. I used a new watercolor paper. It's from Mont. I have a love-hate relationship with Mont. If you have followed my YouTube channel for a while, not a huge fan of this paper. Once again, Mont has let me down with their supplies. But hey, this is just student grade shit. So hey, I'm willing to try it all. And I don't like how my black pencil for the shading went down on top of this texture. Not a huge fan of it. So yeah, anyway, hopefully you watch what is left of this video. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. Dislike it, I couldn't care less, because any interaction with my channel puts me up with the algorithm to hopefully find other people who like this kind of content. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.